Peace. What's poppin', my weebles? It's your boy, Sincere 7, coming to you live and direct from the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit. The Pad, representing the House of Genesis, having fun. You know, we in here kicking it. We had a little fun earlier on the little video, you know what I'm saying, talking about a few things. We got serious for a minute, you know what I'm saying, dealt with a few things, but let's get back to some other things we be dealing with. Y'all know we be all over the place. We be dealing with healing. We be dealing with psychonaut type of stuff. We be dealing with snake venoms. We be dealing with, you know what I'm saying, just all types of stuff. But I just thought that maybe I would come on and kick it like about the Psilohuassca for a minute, you know, because we talk about so many things and I spend so much time talking about things, and I'll be going real deep, especially about the venoms and the healing and things like that, because it's just so passionate to me. But let's not forget that, you know what I'm saying, coming up out of the psychedelic realms and entheogens and things like that. And so what I wanted to talk about was the Psilohuassca. And why is it important? And the reason for me it's important is because I have had, you know, given quite a few ayahuasca ceremonies, and with the explosion of the entheogenic community in 2020, a lot of people started getting educated in a lot more entheogens and a lot of psychedelics and plant medicines and all of these in the community. It was like an uproar, and people started reaching out to me and requesting for me to ship them ayahuasca. I do not do that. Ayahuasca is something that has traditionally been served by a shaman and other names of the individuals who serve ayahuasca. You come to an individual facilitator who serves you and who, as a spiritual tour guide, leads you through that journey. So to ship an individual ayahuasca is in the circles that we move in would be seen as wrong. It shows a lack of integrity. It shows a lack of respect for the medicine. And the only times that I've been aware of anybody shipping ayahuasca is been to individuals who they know have been trained in that, who deal with that, who have their own and things like that. But just the individual who's looking to do some type of you know, sacred ceremonial work on their own or with their community and just sending it to them, that's not what we do. However, I did understand that there are a lot of facilitators out here who are ready to hold space for people who have not been trained in ayahuasca. Those are two different things. Those people can hold space. Those people are trained to, you know, to work with people under entheogenic medicines. They just haven't been trained in ayahuasca. Some people have the ability to facilitate and hold space for themselves. They've been through 5, 6, 7 journeys of this, 7, 8, 9 of this, and they understand how to operate within themselves, within their realms. But they haven't been trained in ayahuasca. So for me, I felt like there needed to be some type of buffer zone in between this for individuals who can facilitate their own journeys. And of course, when my teacher came to live with me for almost a year, one of the things that we spoke about was Psilohuassca. And Psilohuassca, such as ayahuasca, is a drunk beverage to take you into the realms to deal with, you know, your trauma work or your magic work or whatever it might be that you are trying to go into those realms. Now, the thing about it is that ayahuasca has an MAOI, monoamino oxidase inhibitor. And what that means is that it turns off the security guard in your body. Inside, we have a security guard that blocks certain shit off when we use it or consume it. And so this is called MAO. And we have an inhibitor that we give to the MAO. And when we give the MAO, the I, we've taken the MAOI. And when we take the MAOI, security guard goes to sleep. Now we sneaking in with DMT and our body like, oh, let me use it. Oh, Oh, I get to use all of it because the security guard didn't take 70% of it when you was coming in. So now the journey is a lot more intense. It's a lot deeper, a lot longer, right? So for those of you who use Changa, the MAOI will give you a longer journey in the Changa. For those of you who use mushrooms, using MAOI will give you a longer journey in the mushrooms. For those of you DMT, those of you who use the MAOI, will give you a longer journey in the mushrooms. But that's not all when it comes to the Psilohuassca. There's another component to it. Ayahuasca is made by cooking the Banisteriopsis caapi vine and DMT containing leaves. They brew them together for a long time in a large amount and into a concentrated form where you get a very strong MAOI and DMT infusion in a drink. You drink that ayahuasca and you go into the realms. So the MAOI is in there and the DMT is in there. With Psilohuassca, ayahuasca is a spiritual drink. So ayahuasca is using, again, the vine and the leaves and creating the spiritual drink. Psilohuassca is using the psilocybin mushroom as the component of the spiritual molecule, but instead of the vine, pay attention, instead of the Banisteriopsis caapi vine being used, which is very strong, very powerful for the ayahuasca journey, we use Banisteriopsis caapi leaves. We use the leaves off of the vine. Okay, so it's a more gentler MAOI experience, but here's the point that is the important part. Because it's from the same plant teachers. So those of you all who love the ayahuasca for the snake and the jaguar and that jungle energy and spiritual, presence in your journey, you get that in the Psilohuassca because it's using the same plant. But since the mushrooms are more gentler than the DMT freebase, of course, in the ayahuasca, then it needs a more gentle MAOI. So the ayahuasca leaf or the Banisteriopsis caapi leaf mixed with the blue lotus as your MAOI. And then 30 minutes later, your cacao, ceremonial cacao. Now, if you wanted, you could brew the Banisteriopsis caapi leaf and the blue lotus into a strong tea concoction and use that tea, boom, to activate your ceremonial cacao. And if you do that, I would invite you to separate it into 2 servings. Do your first serving, just like ayahuasca. Do your first serving. 30 minutes later, do your second serving. Playing your ceremonial music, playing your mantras, whatever it is that you are dealing with when you are going into these realms. But you want that MAOI to be able to go in and do what it needs to do. So if you are going to mix them together, then you would want to separate them in at least 2 separate cups. Same drink, 2 cups. So you can drink one, 30 minutes later, drink the second one, and it can get activated while the MAOI is fully activated within your system. So that is the pad Psilohuassca. That's what we're talking about. That's what's being added to the list or to the menu. To those of y'all who got the menu, I was telling y'all it wasn't on it. We're working to add that to the menu. If you haven't gotten the menu, then you don't know about all of the other beautiful things that we have. We got a lot of things that, you got to get the menu because, you feel me? So, but if you got the menu and it's not on there, that's being added. If you don't have the menu, request the menu. And I'm going to send that to you. And if that's not on there, then you ask probably like right now. And I sent you the menu right after I got off of here. But if you give me 30 minutes, then it'll be added to the menu. But so I just wanted to come on and actually just speak to y'all. Do I got any questions, comments, concerns about what I just spoke about? Any questions, comments, concerns about the Psilohuassca? Let me go on here because I can't see some of the comments from one of the pages, so I got to go on and see if anybody's commenting questions or concerns. Okay. So, if you got any questions, comments, concerns, just reach out to me. But that's what Psilohuassca is. There are different, just like Changa. Remember we spoke about Changa. If you was around, we spoke about that. If not, go check out the videos. But there's smokable ayahuasca, which we still got some available. That's been, y'all been loving that. That been going. I'm talking about, like, I had to. So, just like the Changa, when I spoke about the different recipes, it's like spaghetti. Everybody's recipe isn't the same. Even with ayahuasca, some villages will add other medicines to their ayahuasca, so they have a different frequency, a different energy, things like that. So Psilohuassca is not a one in one or two. It's kind of like that. It's like same thing. So this is the pad Psilohuassca. I have been working on our Psilohuassca for years. While I was in Florida, we were trying things out and was like, no, that ain't it yet either. Like, it's you know what I mean? So finally, we got it down pat. If you're interested, reach out. You know what I mean? But other than that, that's all I came to talk about. Just wanted to explain to y'all what the Psilohuassca was about. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Appreciate y'all who's steady supporting, steady ordering, steady coming to the pad, taking part in everything. Some of those of y'all who don't get lost on all of the bullshit that we be playing and talking about. A lot of people really get bent out of shape, and I'd be like, that's not even what I'm here for. So thank y'all to those who know how to use me correctly. I love y'all. Tell somebody you love them in the language they can understand it in. Peace.